Oh, I almost dropped my camera. Today's video consists of tips on how to grow your audience. Being able to share your content and expressing your content to people online, whether it's Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, using your social media platform is crucial in 2018. People need to understand that social media it's big. I love graphic design. Things that I would create revolved around things that I love. So this brings me down to tip number 1, to experiment. What does experimenting mean? Feel free to create things that have not been seen and challenge yourself to create stuff that you think is cool. The reasons you want to experiment, you learn, and through trial and error, you get faster and quicker. So it started from paper and pen, and then moved on to paintbrush. Eventually I got into graphic design. Within graphic design, I took everything that I learned from all those other mediums, and I tried implementing it into graphic design. And I would make faces of iconic people.
Look around, never been here before, never had a beer before. Hustling like a Thibodeau coach, and I'm rolling up grains to the pendulum, swings to the center of frame. Hope you get it info. And
try to gain a small exposure through that. You know, I would tag the artist in hopes that they would retag, is share. When you're barely starting, you want to let other people know, like, hey, this is what I'm good at.
Won't take no loss, won't take days off. We go so hard until we fall. A nigga used to dream, my reality's a dream now. Nigga used to dream, my reality a dream now.
The great thing about sharing too is, like, you're gonna build a small community that's gonna tell you, hopefully, that will tell you honestly, I like this, I like that, I don't like this is weird, this is interesting. And you start to see what the community or the people actually like to see. And it's very important that you do understand that, especially if you want to start making money. You give the audience, or you give the clients what they want. Well, you give the masses, the majority, what they want. Okay, this style isn't something that you're gonna do constantly. You're just currently setting yourself in a position where eyes are looking at you. So, as I mentioned, experiment to try to be different, do a lot of other things. That way you learn a good amount of knowledge, and then you're able to implement it in other projects. A lot of the things that I eventually was hired on to do, for certain clients, was based off sharing my content, things that I did for fun, things that I experimented for fun. Tip number 3, I think this one's a good one: free work. I know you pour a lot of effort. You've probably put thousands of hours. This goes back into understanding the process. Free work basically means you're going to do a whole bunch of free work. The good thing about this is you're still developing your skill, you're still sharing, and you're able to implement things that you've experimented in the past into this free work. How I started, I would shoot videography. I would shoot videos during a photo shoot. And I would ask the company or a company, hey, is there any way that I could do this and that I could show you, maybe if you like it, etc., etc. And I didn't charge them, knowing that I put thousands of hours into like learning how to do that, and just did it. I did it because of who they were, and I want to expose myself. What's also cool about doing free work is you set your own goal and you set your own pace, but it goes away in repetition. The more you do it, the comfortable you become in doing it. First and fast. But I used to go to events a lot, And at these events, you have a whole bunch of videographers and a whole bunch of photographers that would go there. In order for me to set myself apart from a lot of other people, I would focus on creating the shots that I wanted, shooting and taking my time, knowing that I'm gonna go home and I would edit it as soon as possible.
Goddamn, they don't want me flaming up my pen, not again. This is not a game, this ain't pretend. Goddamn, you are not my boy, you not my man's, not him. Shake my head. Goddamn.
Oh no, TBT, we really that impressive. Oh no, OMG, you really not impressive. Oh no.
Go away to go back again.
And if you're really smart, if you're really, I shouldn't say if you're really smart, but if you really want to take it to the next level, you try to get as much information from other people, whether it's their Instagram, their email, their name, their social medias, I mean, or their number, and you try to get this list. Reason is, once you edit this video, you could tag all these people in your video, and if you've been experimenting for so long that your quality of work kind of has a certain style to it, and it's very shareable, people will share it. I wanted to gain eyes on me. At that time, that was my first goal, is to let people know, like, hey, look at me, this is what I could do, this is what I'm capable of. Collaborate. When you collaborate, you're basically entering their community. So for example, I used to shoot videos specifically with certain people, whether it's models or photographers or musicians.
Grab that shit, love that shit, brand that shit, push that shit, sell that shit. Niggas stop panicking, just do it, do it.
And in hopes that they would share my content. I never try to like force it upon them. You can make certain requests, like, hey, if we do this, will you share it to your audience? And I'll do the same. But for the most part, I've always went in with the idea of like, hey, I'm gonna share something great that they're willing to do it. Let's say you're a cook, right? Maybe you've learned how to make a certain dish. Maybe you could collaborate with a blogger and gain eyes using their exposure that they already have, and jump onto their social media stream. And then you could perhaps gain 1 or 2 followers that way, you know? Uniqueness. This is a huge tip. This is huge. I consider it uniqueness, right? So uniqueness to me is, there's something about you that sets you apart. There's someone that I aspire and I look at, and I see the quality of work that person does, and his name is, I believe is Gibson Has. But basically, Gibson Hazards, when I saw his content, this 21-year-old, or I don't even know his age, but this young person, seeing the uniqueness and remarkable this person has with his video content, sets him apart by far. You know, the more you're able to develop your uniqueness, the more you are setting a niche focus to what you do, and other people are going to talk about it. And that is acquired basically through all the experimentation that you yourself have done. Learn from other people. You want to learn as much as you can from other people. I just gave you an example of what a person that I look at and I aspire to become, and I try to really analyze what lens is he shooting, how does he shoot it, what type of effects is he using, what made him choose that song, what made him choose that style, what about the transitions were so amazing to me, and I actually try to recreate it. Or I try to do it my own version, because I don't completely want to rip his style off. You know, you want to be your own, you want to create your own style. Learn quality. Obviously, quality to people could be the certain lens, could be the certain camera, could be the sound. Like, you want to take into consideration like everything, what makes videos or what makes your thing better than others, you know, and invest into your quality. I invested in lights. I invest into my microphone because I want my audio to sound clear. I invest on the programs that I use. I learn how what type of quality I see out there, and I try to recreate it for my own version. Learn quality, you know. Be relentless. Be relentless. I think I saw a video of P. Diddy talking about like how relentless you have to be to even communicate to the powers that be.
I'm one of the most relentless on the planet. My peers will tell you, when I'm on the phone, they be like, God damn, why is he on my phone? Why is he on my phone? Because they know I'm not going to stop calling. I'm not going to stop standing outside. I'm not going to stop. I will follow you wherever you are at. I need the answer.
To constantly like try to get your name heard. And for you, being relentless may be different. And I'm still learning how to be relentless, but I've taken notes and I've realized like, I have to be more relentless in the content that I create, meaning do more of it, the ones that work, on a more frequent basis, and try to expose myself through other social channels constantly, and maybe even go further than that, other than the free work, other than the collaboration. Constantly doing this, like where else can I benefit from this? Maybe it's like contacting websites, contacting small businesses that host content like myself, or do events like you gotta just be relentless. You gotta want it so bad. You gotta want to be first and fast. The last thing is consistency. I think every artist struggles through consistency, and every business struggles through consistency, but you want to establish a consistent momentum and change it up as you're doing your consistency, as you're progressing. You want to have you want to be consistent, because you can then allow the audience that's watching you to keep on time with you. They'll know when you drop it. They're gonna wait for you and see when you are able to, when you release it, and you build an audience that way. That's also like a giant reason why television's so powerful, is because like at a certain schedule, we get, as humans, we get so excited when our show comes on at 6 p.m. or at 8 p.m. I have to admit, I'm having trouble in doing that. I'm doing so much, but I at least am trying to dedicate myself to creating this content every Friday. So with that said, if you enjoy this, and if you love the content that I'm providing, if you love this video that I have talked about and sharing all the tips that I think will help you growing your audience, please give me a like. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share it to anybody that you think needs this, whether they're creative or a one-person business trying to gain an exposure. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. So God bless y'all. Enjoy. Until next Friday.